Remember those great rolls you'd get with your cafeteria school lunch? Got a recipe for it. One of my best memories of growing up in the South was this bread roll that we used to get with our school lunch. Freshly baked every morning, the smell would just travel through the school. My mom would also make these rolls for us during the summer months. I think it was because she loved them just as much as we did. I have a cousin who's been asking for a recipe for this, and now I've got one for her. Before we get started, I'd really appreciate it if you would click the like button and also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And also click the little bell to be notified when I post a new video. All right, let's get started. In a large bowl, mix together the warm water, which should be about 98 to 110 degrees, with the sugar, then stir this up to dissolve the sugar. Sprinkle the yeast over the water and give it a little stir. Let it stand for about 10 minutes. The yeast will start to bubble up, letting you know that it's actually working. Next, you'll want to add in the milk, eggs, and the salt. Stir this around to give it a mix. Set that bowl aside. In a separate bowl, add in the flour and the remainder of the sugar. Add in the shortening and use your fingertips to crumble it up into the flour. Keep working on this until the shortening becomes barely noticeable. Now you'll want to add the flour to the wet ingredients in 3 parts, using a wooden spoon to stir slowly to start, otherwise flour will get everywhere. The dough will become thicker and harder to use the spoon. Now you'll want to start using your hands to work the dough until it comes together into a ball. If you see that some flour hasn't been incorporated around the bowl, use a scraper, a spoon, or something to scoop it up and put it into the ball, and keep working on it until it's all in there. Once you have a ball of dough, stop working it, and then cover it with a hot, wet towel that's been wrung out. Set it in a warm place. For me, I like to use the oven with just a light on. Let it rise until it is doubled in size. This should take about 45 minutes to an hour. Uncover the dough, press down in the center to make a well. Add in the melted butter. Using your hands, work the butter into the dough. After about 3 to 5 minutes, the butter should start to be pretty much mixed in. Remove the dough from the bowl and then knead it on an unfloured work surface for about 5 minutes more. you'll see that the dough will start to feel more cohesive, but it won't form a smooth surface. You'll just want to bring it together into a ball. Let the dough rest where it is on the work surface for about 5 minutes. Lift it up, lightly sprinkle some flour on the surface, and then put it down, and then sprinkle some on top, and then also flour your rolling pin. You'll want to roll the dough out to at least 3/4 or an inch thick. I cut my dough out into 2-inch squares, but you can go smaller if you want smaller rolls. I ended up with about 18. Roll the dough out into little balls, and then grease the pans that you're going to use. I recommend using 2 9-inch round pans or 2 9x9 pans, and then also you could use a 9x18 pan, but you'll want something that's got at least an inch high side. Space the dough about an inch apart. If you have more room than an inch, the rolls will start to get wider than taller. Cover the trays with the same damp towel for about 45 minutes. I use the oven again with the light on. You can also cover these rolls with plastic wrap and place them in the fridge overnight. In the morning, take them out and just let them sit for about 30 minutes before baking. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. Bake the rolls for about 12 minutes, maybe 14, until they're golden brown. While they're baking, go ahead and melt 2 tablespoons of butter in a small bowl. I added about a teaspoon of honey and then stirred it in and dissolved it. When the rolls come out of the oven, brush the butter all over the rolls. Let them cool for a bit before tearing into them, if you can wait. The rolls can be stored in the fridge for about a week or can be frozen for about 3 months. You'll want to take them out of the freezer and let them thaw in the fridge overnight, or just leave them out on the counter for about an hour before warming them up. They're great for breakfast with butter and jam, Nutella, or as a breakfast sandwich with ham, eggs, or bacon. You can also use them pretty much for anything. We had them as sliders for a pulled pork barbecue the other night. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you make this version of Cafeteria Rolls and it brings back some great memories of your school days. Leave me some comments below, and don't forget, hit the like button and subscribe button. They're over here. Thanks.